Alright guys, the time you've been dreading is finally here. So in this video I am going to look at every SR character in the game and give my opinion about them. Now, before we start, this is going to be long form, so if you don't got time, you're going to bitch at me about the time. I warned you, so that's the way it is. Also, I will read the character's skills and give you my opinion of them. I do not have experience with every character in this game, so if I miss something that's either like a Link skill or, you know, some vague combo that you found that I haven't found that's really good or whatever, what have you. Keep in mind, this is my opinion, guys. I'm not telling you exactly how good everything is. I'm telling you where I see potential, and if I can, I will link it to something else. You know, just to tell you, you know, oh, they'd be really good with this type of gear or this buffer or whatever, so. Alright, so we're gonna begin at the beginning, which is with Leon here. Now, I've seen Leon a little bit. He does seem to pop up in a lot of people's friend lists, but I haven't actually ever built one, so let's get to it here. He is a light tank. Passively decreases, or excuse me, increases, decreases, increases crit resist rate of allies by 5%, and I assume by more than that when you get more levels on them, or more dupes. Alright, skill 1, Lion's Roar. Deal damage equal to 232% of attack to one enemy. Buff. Increase counter rate of self by 15.7%. Success 100% rate. Okay, so if he's countering... It's actually not a bad skill percentage-wise, but probably you're not going to be putting super high deeps gear on him right away. Alright, 2. Active, Salvation, 100-second cooldown. Let me see the other cooldown, 60. Buff, increased status effect resist rate of ally times 3 by 34.3%, okay. 60%, or excuse me, 60-second duration. So maybe he'd really good on someone that has some real nasty status effects. Buff, increased defense of ally by 3 by 34.3%. That's a pretty high percentage. 3 allies though, but still. Most of the like 5-person buffs in this game, they are like somewhere in the realm of like 11%. Whatever, and that's just gonna get better with the upgrades. Alright, what's your Grimoire skill here? Judgment Strike, passive. Status effect, inflict stun for 13 seconds when regular attack is triggered. Oh, okay, so that's the synergy with his counter then. Success rate 5%. Stun, can't use regular attacks or active skills. 13-second stun at a 5% clip. Assuming whatever the upgrade rate is, maybe you could get it to 15%, hopefully. It might just be like 10%, because I know you can upgrade a Grimoire 9 times, so hopefully that would bring that up. Or possibly the duration, I guess. So then that with his counter going off, and you get him like some decent gear with counter on it, I could see him being really good, especially for status effects. Okay, okay. I'm looking at him differently now. I could see him being pretty good. I would give him... Unfortunately, you can't stun the Dark Raid boss. So it wouldn't be as useful there, even though the counters would be nice, but... Okay. I see you, Leon. I see you. I'd probably give him, like, depending on what you're doing with him. I wonder if it's possible to run, like, a really heavy counter setup in this game. Which would eat a lot of time, but if you got your heroes hitting hard enough, why not? Oh, well, maybe that's an in-game thing. So, okay, so that's what I think of Leon. Pretty good, pretty good. I could see some synergy with him. Let's see what we got going on here at the Duchy. Dominique. So Dominique is actually one of the last hero I just started building, and she's super sexy, I can tell you that right now. But let's get into her, then I'll give you my opinion. So her buff, attack and defense 15%, probably a little bit better, or obviously a little bit better when she gets some dupes, hopefully at least. Yeah, that's pretty good. Regular damage. Deals damage equal to 244.7%, 56-second cooldown. That's a high percentage for a single target. Removes 1 buff from enemies. So this skill's really good currently on the Untamed Sanctum. Taking a buff off the Dragon Boss when he does his big fire thing. Super good. But also, this would be really good against Cicero, because Cicero, he buffs his own defense. So you could just take that off immediately and DPS them down on the stall teams and hit them really hard. That's cool. What else we got here? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing, sorry. Epic Masquerade, active, 94-second cooldown. Deal damage equal to 237.6. Okay, high percentage again. Enemy times 1. Additional damage against Dark, 136.2. Okay, so if you're fighting like Cicero, like I said, base at rank 1, that is going to be 300, right around 370, a little more. So you could basically, with her 1, you know, wreck his buff after he buffs, hit him hard. And then come back and hit him even harder after his defense buffs down. So yeah, that's pretty strong. And I've been told she one-shots Cicero's in PvP once you get her built, so can't wait to see that. Alright, here's her Grimoire ability, passive. Decrease damage taken of self by 19.4% when active skill is triggered. Once again, that would help her in PvP. That would help her everywhere, of course, but PvP, especially with the one-shot combos where there's lots of dark, hard-hitting units like Proxy, that would be a help to help keep her up and keep her not have to be healed as much. Duration is 40 seconds. So pretty much, you could almost have that up full time. Not quite, depends on your cooldown reduction, but you could almost have that up full time. That's pretty good. Passive damage reduction, that's only going to get better or whatever the percentage is going to be. Maybe like 30-some% by the time it's maxed. Maybe even more, that's pretty sexy. I'll put her in PvP right now, at least. I'll put her at... If you're fighting Cicero or any Dark unit, of course, I'll put her at 9. Right now. Only thing she's missing is, like, you know, a buff for the team or heal or something like that. But as far as what she does, she's pretty freaking good. For raid as well, I'd put her at a 9. Against Dark boss. Or basically any boss that buffs. Good against Untamed Sanctum, too. PV, you know, that just depends what you're doing, but she wouldn't be bad. Maybe a 7. You know, up to a 9, depending on what you're doing. So, yeah, that's pretty damn good. Glad I chose to build her, then. Alright, so let's get out of here. Go to the Elven Forest. Eleanor, what you got for me, girl? What you got for me? Increase attack of all allies by 10%. So that's allies without an elemental thing. So, okay, that's decent. Regular damage. Damage dealt equals 247.2 attack to one enemy. So she's a one enemy hitter. High percentage. Short cooldown. Doesn't have any other component to it. So let's see what her 2 does. Rune Strike. Also a short cooldown for a 3. 42 seconds. That's pretty good. Deal damage equal to 248.6% of it. Attack to enemy 1. Chain effect. Deal damage equal to 248 again. The enemy is affected by burn. Okay, so you're running with a burn champion. Okay. Chain effect. Deals damage equal to 140.9 if own HP is 50% or lower. Trying to finagle that. Okay, so assume that all that was optimal. You would have 200, 400, 500, 540, 580, 620, 636, right around 638% of attack on a short cooldown ability. That's pretty sexy, actually. You could, like, when a raid boss or someone gets you below 50%, you could spam that pretty quickly and then get your heal off. I could see that being really sexy. Of course, you know, everything has to be optimal with the burn debuff and all that, but if you could get good at, like, timing all that stuff, damn, she could hit really freaking hard. So automatically goes pretty high on anything you're fighting that's wood. Yeah, that's pretty sexy. Okay, what's her passive do? Exploit weakness. Deals additional fixed damage of 86 to targets affected by burn when all attack is triggered. Now, all attack, I've seen that a couple times. I wonder if all attack just means base attack. I'm not sure. No way to click on it. Maybe there's a glossary. Well, whatever, I'll look it up sometime. But okay, I see you, Eleanor. You could do some burst damage under the right conditions. You need a champion that burns. And you hopefully will be at under 50%, which how you would finagle that. I guess you'd have to put her near the front, or you either make her fairly tanky in the front, Or you put her in the second row and just hope the AoEs hit her fairly hard. Alright, Eleanor, I got you, I got you. Akate, I've heard good things about her. Let's look at her. Dark Sifid leadership. Increase attack of physical allies by 25%. Okay, if you're running physical, that's actually not bad. What else here? Sylphid Gust, 50-second cooldown. Damage equal to 228, one enemy. Apply effect enemy with highest attack. Oh, so she insta-targets enemy with highest attack. Okay. Debuff, decrease damage of enemy times 1 by 30.5%. That's pretty good, too. And it just says apply, so I'm assuming it's 100%. Okay, so she's like an enemy attacker killer, then. At least so far. Let's see what her next ability does. Deal damage equal to 90-second cooldown. Quarrel Storm. 168% enemy times 3. Inflict poison on enemy times 3, dealing damage equal to 12.5, 6 seconds every 30 seconds, or every 6 seconds for 30 seconds, 30% success rate. Poison decreases status effect resist rate. Okay, so she could chain well with like Ash then, since she puts poison up. Okay. What else? Crowwing passive. Increase self-block rate by 8.8% when active skills triggered. Okay, so a little bit of survivability. Okay, it kind of seems like she started to be geared towards one thing, then it kind of seems like she does a little of everything, which, not necessarily bad, but I don't know. Her damage percentages are good, though. Yeah, for an AoE, not bad. Considering there's dot damage on top of it. Okay. So I gotta remember she's like an anti, in PvP, if you got her really built up, I could see her being really good. Just to take out the enemy's attacker, like you could use as a finisher. Or an opener once all the enemy heals are down. Okay. Okay, I could see that. Next up, so we're getting out of Elven Forest. We're going to go to the Kingdom of Parsha. Start with Suzerni. Now, I have a Suzerni and I started to build her up. I actually have her at 40, but I haven't really used her that much. So let's see. Increase attack of allies, water allies 15%, and max HP 15%. Interesting. Icicle Lance, 80-second cooldown. Damage, 136% to enemy times 4. Not bad. Chill on enemy times 4. 20% success rate. Okay, decrease block. If chill stacks, it becomes freeze, yada yada yada. Okay, not terrible. The only thing that kills it for me is the low percentage, but of course that's because it's AoE, so if it was a higher percentage, she'd be OP. She may still be OP, let's see. Frosty Embrace, 100-second cooldown. 239%, one enemy. Additional damage. The enemy's affected by chill, so about 370, a little less on chill. So she could be a good chill finisher or DPSer. Okay. But then as for her putting up her own chill, though, that would be kind of interesting. Because the problem I see with this character is, even if you rely on her for chill, you know, it's a low percentage, first of all, but let's say it sticks on one of the enemies out of 4, hell, possibly 2 of the enemies out of 4, right? Well, this doesn't have targeting priority on anything that I see, so what if she uses a skill? Unless it auto-targets whoever's chilled, which I hope it does, but if it doesn't... I think it does, though. Usually chain skills do. Oh, it doesn't say chain, though. Oh, well, maybe not. I don't know, one of you guys that has Suzerni, if you could let me know, does her 2 insta-target anyone that's chilled? You know, assuming you're not fighting like a solo boss. I could see her being really good on Raid, though, on Fire Raid, Badir. See her being pretty good there. Alright, passive. Increase hit target skill cooldown by 8 seconds when active skill is triggered. That could make her super sexy, actually. I could see her running Havoc and PvP with that. So you get 2 AoE spammers with chill, like Luna or whoever. Or is it not Luna? Maybe I'm thinking of Colette. One of them. Maybe both of them. So you change stuff to freeze, and then I guess you could run her, Ash, and Malphion. That wouldn't be terrible. And then yeah, so many people would have freeze. You'd have a bunch of finishers going. I could see that becoming something in the future. PvP wise. Plus you're pushing back cooldowns. That's pretty sexy. Considering that she hits 4 people with her first skill. Okay, I see you, Scizerny. I just gotta get a couple more heroes in line before I see you being super good. I guess that's all for SRs here. Alright, let's go to Primitive Tribes. I think they have like 1 million SRs. Oh no, they have a bunch of Rs. That's funny. Okay, so we will start with Harimi. Now, I had someone in the chat earlier when I was streaming tell me Harimi, they were thinking about building him for Vadir raid, Fire raid. So let's see how this goes. Leadership. Ally times 3. Or if there's water, then increased attack, decent. Damage equal to 248 of attack to one enemy. Additional damage, 149% of attack to enemies affected by chill. So there's your, like, chill destroyer there. Deal damage, oh, 85-second cooldown on this one. The previous one was 62. Deal damage equal to 138.9% of attack to enemy times 4. Inflict blind. Ooh, blind, huh? On 4. What's the percentage? 60% success rate. Holy damn. That could be really good. Wow, okay. I see you. So once again, like I was saying, if you're running like one of those ice teams in PvP, I could see this guy being really good there. Okay. What's your passive, sir? Inflict chill, that deals damage equal to 4%, blah, 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 blah. Success rate 10%. Is that, Oh, when active skills, okay. I thought maybe passives, too. Or auto attack. Okay, so his active skill, one of them hits 4 people. And the other one hits 1 person. Okay. I could see him being useful. Especially on raids. PvP if you had the right setup. PvE also if you had the right setup. Okay. But not necessarily a damager, but his one does deal a butt ton of damage under the right conditions. Okay. I could see him being pretty good. Give him like 8s on most things. Alright, Alcon. Let's see here. What you got, baby? Sucks. Next. Oh, he's got healing. Okay. This is the first guy healer I'm aware of in this game. Heal ally times 3, 98.9. Fairly low, but he is SR. Buff. Increase attack of ally. Oh, now we're talking. By 19.3. Okay. Okay. So a little attack buff. Okay. What else you got? Oh, what's the cooldown on that? 100, yeah. Alright. Thunderous Tackle. 65 cooldown. 242% attack, 1 enemy. Decreased damage with 1 enemy by 31.3. Okay. Okay. Interesting. He kind of does a little bit of, it's like a mix of a hybrid healer with a little bit of what Ashe does. But not AoE though, single target. Attack debuffer. Passive, decreased defense of enemy times 1 by 8.8 when all attack is triggered. Once again, I need to figure out this all attack thing, but... he might be a sleeper, actually. He might be a sleeper. Because think about it. Okay, so he's decreasing defense, 8.8%, right? Success rate's pretty high, and you can upgrade that eventually once you get that, but of course, you gotta get his freaking Grimoire for that. Has an attack debuff with a hard single target, and also passively heals and does damage that's based on his attack. That's actually not bad. I'm not gonna say he's like top tier or anything, but that's actually not bad. The problem is he's kind of spread out in everything that he does, but if you get that defense decrease, I could see him actually being pretty good on PvE and some raids. I could see him being pretty good, actually, yeah. Like, you could put him in with, if you get a super strong team, you could have him be the main healer and he's passively lowering defense and attack at the same time. That's pretty strong. Along with buffing attack and a little heal there. That's actually pretty sexy, so... I'll give you a shout out, Alkin. I'll give you a shout out. That's pretty good there. I'd put him at... Of course, that's all dependent on if you can get his Grimoire, but... I'd put him at like 7s. Before Grimoire, though, he's probably like 6. Something like that. So... I mean, you know, it just depends what team you got around him. Alright, so this is Maoqian. I've managed to get a couple copies of this guy, actually. So let's see. That's not that great. Infernal Beam. Damage, 248, 1 enemy. Decrease crit rate of enemy by 22%. Okay. I guess if you're fighting something that's crazy crit damage, might not be terrible. What else? 248, 1 enemy again. 2 enemies that are 50% HP or lower deal an additional 140, so that adds it up to 390 almost. Okay, 390 plus 248 with a crit rate. Yeah, I don't see him being that useful, but let's see what his passive does. Because there's already Dark Heroes in the game that hit hard, so... deal damage equal to 31.6% of attack to magic-type enemies. Oh, okay. Wizard Killer. Okay, so I don't see this guy as being, like, super bad, but the problem is... Wizard enemies, there's only so many in the game. Maybe if a raid boss is considered a wizard enemy or something. And 2 single targets, and one of them crit rate decrease, which... While not bad, not necessarily one of the debuffs you want in this game, so... Yeah, it's too bad. And then this is contingent on enemies being 50% or lower, so at the beginning of a battle... But towards the end of a battle, hey, not bad. Especially if it's a wizard. Alright, now I know about you. Alright, let's see what else is going on. Pioneering of Urikran. Yeah, Casca. I was actually excited about Casca. I remember I saw some similarities between her and Proxy. Let's see here. Leadership. Attack and max HP of fire. Not terrible. Deals damage equal to 173% of attack to 3 enemies. Eagle Eye. 55-second cooldown. Debuff. Decreases healing of enemy times 3 by 37.6%. It's times 3, though. I think Proxy's is times 4. But it is a higher percentage, though. I think Proxy starts at like 32 or 33. Which, yeah, no, won't necessarily make or break anything. And then this one's just a hard-hitting single target. But it is a guaranteed critical, so that's nice. Okay. Then what's your passive here? Deal damage equal to 26.3% of attack to enemies affected by burn when regular attack is triggered. Okay. I wonder if they count counter attack as regular attack. That might bump that up a little bit for me if they did. But yeah, as it stands, she's not bad. It's just I'd rather have Proxy for the healing component, clearly, and you gotta have burn for the bonus damage. Guaranteed critical on her too, super nice. And decrease healing on her 1. Yeah, she won't be bad for like fire raid teams or any type of if wood ever becomes meta in PvP, which I doubt. But hey, you never know, it might. So, not as excited as I was, but I still see you, Casca. Alright, let's go to Industria Residence. Altar. Oh, this guy. Oh gosh. Okay. So this is something you guys that have this character, I think this is the character. Attack of water allies 20% leadership. Yep, this is him. Okay, so follow me on this. Water DPS with 2 buff abilities increases pierce damage of self by 804, which... Okay. But duration 7 seconds. 7 seconds is less than the global cooldown. Is it less? Yeah, I think the global cooldown, it's minimum 8 seconds. It's got to be more than that. So... 7-second buff, what am I going to do with that? Unless that goes off before his ability goes off. But even then, what was that, 804? You know, it's nice, but it's not like, oh my god, crazy. And especially for a duration of 7 seconds. Unless that's misprinted or mistranslated or something. And the percentage, you know, it's nice. 247 on one enemy, that's good. But then look at his second skill. 245, once again nice, but look, a crit damage buff, which is awesome. Look at that, 50.9%, success rate 100, but 7 seconds again. So I don't understand, like, unless it goes off immediately upon the buff component, I mean, goes off as he uses the ability and then the damage goes out, I don't see the usefulness of this. Like, at all. So, you guys that have him, if anyone's done some testing with him, I do have him. I guess I should try it out. But if you've been playing with him regularly, let me know. Is this mistranslated? Is it actually 70 seconds or something? I would even take, like, 16, 17 seconds. Because at least you can get a second ability off, like you could do this one and then this one. And maybe if you crit, the pierce damage multiplier would make it more worth it, but I just don't see it, so. And then deals additional fixed damage of 144 to targets affected by cold when all attack is triggered once again. I don't get this guy. I just don't. No way, isn't there a way to test him? I don't think. I think there is, but it has to be like a link skill. See if I can. See if it'll actually load up. Okay, so we'll do this one right here. Oh, but this doesn't have like a countdown timer. Wait, what? Oh, did I choose the wrong hero? I thought that was his skills. Okay, let's see how the buff goes. Now, clearly, he would have to crit for that to matter, but there's the timer, and then it's gone, see? Oh, but there seems to be an AoE component to it, though. Did I miss that? Crit damage of self. So then why is it when he uses it, it buffs? Because watch, the buff will go off on the healer here. See that? And then it's gone. Because that's the healer, because... Oh, wait, never mind, I'm sorry, there's auto attacks, my fault. Okay, so how about this? Say we do this, and then his auto goes off right afterwards. It's a crit, 42, which, of course, we can't test him with gear. Oh, it did look like it buffed him before. Okay, let me wait here. Yep, it does buff him before. Okay, so that one buffs him before. But then it doesn't appear this one does. Oh, it does. Well, at least it says crit damage buff before. Well, maybe that's his usefulness then. He buffs himself real quick, and then you just gotta hope he crits, so I guess you build him with a ton of crit rate. Okay, that bumps him up a little bit, but it still seems like... I don't know, it's kind of wonky. Whatever. Alright, let's go to Mina. I remember I did like Mina when I looked at her last time. Yeah, leadership's decent. Deal damage equal to 200... Oh, sorry. Blinding Firestorm, 82-second cooldown. 251 damage, one enemy. Chain effect, 260. The enemy's affected by poison. That's pretty good. Chain effect, deal additional damage, 5.7 max HP when chain attack is triggered. It doesn't give her the attack thing that it tells most people. Most people, when they have the 5.7 max HP skill, it also says up to 150% of attack. But for her, it doesn't have that, so I wonder if that's a thing. Let's see. Illusion. Damage, 212, enemy times 2. Separately attack 2 enemies, okay. Inflict silence on enemy times 2 for 20%. 30% chance to inflict. Okay, that's interesting. And then Way of the Ninja, when regular attack is triggered, inflicts block healing on the struck target. Now, when I see block healing, that tells me that all healing is screwed up. And this is on a regular attack, so I could see her being very sexy in PvP for 2 reasons. Number 1, the meta is very much Dark Heroes and she's holy, so you'd have to get her some sustain because she's going to be taking bonus damage too. But if you manage to get her book and you can block healing, or Grimoire, these are 2 pretty hard-hitting abilities. 212. Sequentially attack enemy times 2, so that means 212 on one, 212 on another. And then put up silence, and then also, if you got all of these up, you manage to have poison up. You know, that is, what, 500, 11, 12%, plus 5.7 of max HP. She could be a monster. I could see her being like a real monster, not only in raids, but in PvP as well. PvE too, like, you know, you gotta have a bunch of caveats. You gotta have someone that puts poison up, but... yeah, I could see her being pretty crazy. She needs to be on my short list on people to invest in. The cat ears thing always throws me off. It's always whatever. Sentient AI. Reyna. Crit rate and crit damage. Wow, that's pretty good actually. Considering when you max her, that probably goes up at least 5% for both. Maybe 10% for the lower one. Holy allies though, but okay, yeah, you could run her with like Young Gleck and Mina and all the other holy heroes we've seen so far. Damage, 244, or sorry, Astral Fist, 55-second cooldown. 244 damage, enemy times 1. Silence on enemy 1 for 20 seconds, but it's a 100% rate. Okay. Maybe she could be a Cicero counter here. Okay, what else? X Impact, 70-second cooldown. Damage 135, enemy times 4. Decrease attack of enemy times 4 times 20, or by 22.3%. 100% success rate. Okay. 60-second duration. Ah, she looks strong. Too bad I don't have her. What's this do? Increase status effect resist drain of holy allies by 9.1. Okay, so you'd have to run her with a holy team, but yeah, that actually looks pretty strong. So caveat, she'd be real good on Dark Raid and possibly in PvP, but if you got like... well, I guess it wouldn't matter what you were fighting, even though Dark would be easier, but... you have to have like at least 2 holy teammates, it seems like, right? Oh no, you could have any number. Okay. Huh, interesting. Reyna. Okay, I'll remember you. Reyna and Mina, they both look pretty good. Altier, don't know what the hell's going on there, but he's kind of interesting. Alright, let's go to Tanzao. Shinobi. Futan. Rasen Shuriken. Sweetan. Sorry. Alright, so leadership. Kind of does a similar thing to the last hero, but not quite as good. Too bad that's not per ally. That would be pretty good. Per dark ally. Alright, Shadow Slash. 249. 45-second cooldown. One-time enemy, or by one enemy. Inflict poison on enemy 1. Damage equal to 15.7% every 6 seconds, 30 seconds. 90% success rate. Okay, so poison's almost guaranteed. As a dark SR. Okay. 245. Oh, sorry. Demon Strike, 80-second cooldown. Enemy times 1, 245 damage. Deal additional damage to enemies affected by poison. Oh, he does his own combos. Okay. So what's that? About 390? A little more. 392, 393. Okay, not bad. Wow me with your passive, Shinobi. Let's see. Fixed damage. You know. Okay, well I could see him being semi-useful, but see the problem with dark SRs in this game There's already so many good dark units that if you don't really, like, stand out, it's really hard. Not that Shinobi will be a bad hero necessarily, but, you know, there's other heroes in the game, and it's just like, okay, I'd rather invest in them. But oh well, let's keep going here. So Yuri. I've heard really good things about Yuri, so let's see here. Leadership's alright. Dance of Hope, 90 seconds. Cast Barrier on ally times 3 that blocks up to 861 plus 8%? 9% worth of damage. 9% worth of damage. Like 9% of her attack? 9% of the damage taken? Maybe that's what they mean. Okay, 100% chance to apply effect on 3 allies with highest attack, excluding self. Okay, so you get a decent barrier there. And it goes on your attackers. Maybe that'd be good for, like, lots of AoE damage raids, that type of thing. Alright, Lover's Embrace. Decrease skill cooldowns of ally times 3 by 13 seconds. That's really sexy right there. Increase attack of ally times 3 by 29.3. Oh, but it's random though. It's too bad that's not the highest attack allies. But still, more attack. I mean, even if that goes on your healers, that's more healing, that's more barriers. 60-second duration, too. Okay. So she's like an attack buffer with some survivability. What you got in your passive? Oh, she has a heal. Heals this Mystic Prayer. Heals ally times 3 for 32.3% of attack when active skills are triggered. Oh, wow. Damn, if you could get that. She has a healing component on both of her skills. Cooldown 90 seconds on first one, 100 seconds. Oh, they're long cooldowns, though. You'd have to get lots of cooldown reduction, but still. That's pretty good. Applies on 3 allies with highest attack. The heal does? Okay. So she could passively keep your attackers up, and then all you'd really have to focus on is your healers. And supports and tank. Which, of course, she's one of the supports, but... if you have someone like a proxy that could burst out some deeps, and like Cicero or someone that could help keep people up, yeah. I could see Yuri working really well. Okay. Got it. Got it. Next. Kojiro. I've heard good things about Kojiro. I have him, I just haven't built him. Attack and defense of all allies by 15%. Leadership, not terrible. Quick Slash, 60-second cooldown. 244 enemy times 1. Fixed damage of 408. Yeah. Decent ability, what else? 135.8 to enemy times 4. Additional damage of 76.9 to enemies with 50 HP or lower. 50% HP or lower. I guess he's kind of a finisher, sort of. Alright, Emperor's Call passive, Grimoire ability. One hit inflicts poison that deals damage equal to 13.4% of attack every 6 seconds for 30 seconds. Success rate 10%. I could see him hitting hard, but like hitting hard, it's great. But there's other dark units that do things, but I could see him doing fairly well, especially on like a full dark team. I could see him doing well. Just I don't see him like super top tier unless you got like all 5 of his clones and... Or not, I don't see him too super top tier at all, but... I mean, he could be good. I just wouldn't put him at that super level. Alright, let's go to the Abbey. Cicero, I've given my opinion on Cicero, but for the purposes of this video, this guy is a tanking god right now. You don't run him for his leadership. He increases the defense of all his allies by a good amount, 26%. And also heals as well, 2 allies for a percentage of his attack. And then his other skill, it puts up a damage shield, reflects 20.9% of damage. Max damage, 100% of attack. And then deals damage as well, and the last hit is an AoE component. Not terrible. And then his passive is basically When his HP is low, status effect resist rate of allies times 3 plus 18.4%. I don't see that as like a make or break, but it's not a bad like perk if he just took a bunch of damage and you're trying to keep like people from getting stunned and that sort of stuff. But this guy, overall, right now for the content that's out, he's 10-10-10 for most things. So, and when I say 10-10-10, guys, I mean like on raid, on arena, and on PvE. So Young Gleck, good old Young Gleck. Young Gleck's a really good hero here. Leadership, you know, not that great, but 51-second cooldown Vanguard Sword increases his own crit rate by 26.1%. And then a healthy percentage, 249% on enemy times 1. Buff is 60 seconds. Cooldown's 51 seconds. You do the math. And then his other fissure ability, 72-second cooldown. Already does 249 damage, but also deals an additional 142 whenever he buffs himself with his crit rate buff. So that turns into, what was it, 349, 389, 391, 392, but pretty much percentage at base. And if he gets a crit on top of that, because you buffed your crit percentage, good game. And then his passive, reflect damage on self that reflects 7.3% of damage taken when all attack is triggered. So 10% success rate, so it would be something, but I don't see that being like super crazy good. But yeah, Young Gleck though, he puts out the deeps, man, so anyone that can buff either their crit damage or their crit rate, in his case crit rate, always going to be a good hero because you can basically gear them up more easily, like the way Luna works in Epic 7. So this is Ludmilla, SR version of Ludmilla. There's an SSR version. Leadership's decent. What else you got for me? Fire magic type. 63-second cooldown, Infernal Lava. Deal damage equal to 174.3 to enemy times 3 sequentially. Okay. I think that means 174 to each of them individually. Debuff. Decreased defense of enemy times 3 by 24.4. Oh, damn. I didn't know she had that. Okay. Defense down. Always really good, especially on an AoE component, though. What else you got? Eruption. 90-second cooldown. Damage equal to 245 to one enemy. Burn. Okay, burn. So decreased crit resistance rate. That's always a good thing. 28.5% of attack twice. Wow. Okay. So that could be like a finisher once you put up her defense down and the burn debuff. Oh, then again, I guess she puts it up with that skill, the burn part. Amplify magic passive, Grimoire. Debuff. Increase hit target damage taken by 17.7%. Wow. 100% success rate, 40 seconds. Wow, yeah, that would make her super strong. Damn, I could see her being... on everything but Water Raid, she'd be super good. And even Water Raid, if you get her built, there'd be a percentage damage decrease that she'd do, but... yeah, she could be the burn setup hero for some of those other characters we looked at earlier, too. Yeah, hits hard. What's not to like about her? Decreases defense in an AoE capacity of 3 units. She's pretty sexy. I'd put her at like 9s for most things. Except maybe Water Boss and... yeah. Okay. Damn, I need to get me one of her. Of course, it's the only one I don't have. Alright, so let's see if there's an SR here. There's not. Mercenaries. Como es que? Water, or excuse me, wood tank. Max HP 5%. Meh. Alright, 50-second cooldown, magical protection. Apply taunt on self, making priority targets for enemies. Success rate 100%, duration 37 seconds. 50-second cooldown, that's good. The taunts unlock. Increase defense of self by 41%. Wow. That's a high percentage. 100% success rate. Okay. Okay, what else? Machine gun volley. 80-second cooldown. 179% to 3 enemies. Buff. Applied damage taken reduction effect of 28.2 on self. If defense plus is applied. Okay, so there's your 1-2 combo. So I guess if you're fighting water, this would be a good tank to have, assuming you can get your heals from another source. Passive effect on his Grimoire. Decreased damage taken by 7.3. Okay. So he's just basically like a big filter with taunt. That's pretty good, actually. Not bad, okay. Just gotta watch him on fire. Picasso! What you got, baby? Ancient Cannon, 60 seconds. This guy's a tank as well, technically. Damage 241 to 1 enemy. Decreased block rate of enemy times 1 by 15.7%. Duration 40 seconds. Success 100%. Okay. Deal damage equal to 139.6. Oh, sorry. Natural energy, 90-second cooldown. 139.6 to enemy times 4. Reflect damage on self. That reflects 20.9%. So like Cicero. Yeah, I don't see him being that good so far. Oh, maybe. Let's see here. When hit, inflicts chill. That deals damage. Okay, blah, blah, blah. 10% success rate. Okay. This chill decreases block success rate. I mean, I'd still rather have the other unit, but that's not terrible. Especially if you need a gangster chill. Alright, where else are we? Demons. Got a couple SRs here, so let's go over it. Cert. Fire Demon. Attack. Leadership's not bad. 20% of attack to fire units. Alright, 40-second cooldown. Ifrit's Embrace. Damage equal to 244% of enemy times 1. Additional damage to 120.6 to enemies affected by burn. So 364. Pretty good for a short-term cooldown, actually. Battlefield Inferno. Just a big AoE 140.8. Status effect. When hit, inflict burn. That deals damage equal to 25.1% twice. Success rate 10%. I can see him being decent when you need, like, a fire team. You could probably build him up pretty fast, and he does pretty good damage with his 1 if you got a burn on the team. Other than that, I don't really see him too many places. Niflheim, I know he's pretty good. Defense of water allies by 20. See here. Deal damage equal to 250. Oh, sorry. Empty Embrace, 46-second cooldown. 250.5 of attack, enemy times 1. Damage equal to 124. The enemies affected by chill. Damn, that's 375. Okay. 46-second cooldown. And then he can put up chill at a... what's the percentage success? 50% rate, not bad. Enemy times 1. Okay. So you do his 2, then you do his 1. Unless you got chill from another source. When hit, cast barrier on self that blocks up to 259 plus 5.6% of attacks worth of damage. 50% success rate, okay. Okay, yeah. Yeah, pretty good nuker. Ice nuker, not bad. Beat up Vidir pretty good. Good old Dark Hill. The Dark Hill's actually one of the better SR units, so leadership's not that great. Infernal Explosion, 80-second cooldown. 212% to enemy times 3, inflicts poison on enemy types times 3. I assume by now you guys all know what the status effects do, so I'm not going to read them all. And this one's a straight 142 of attack on enemy times 4. When hit, inflict poison on his Grimoire ability that deals 13.4% of attack every 6 seconds for 30 seconds. 10% success rate. Yeah, he's just kind of like a hard nuker. Use him on the water boss. He actually rocks pretty hard. Especially if you got someone with a poison chain. Elizabeth. Elizabeth's actually one of my sleepers, so I'm hoping I get her Grimoire. So max HP at dark units, that's decent. Maiden's Curse. Deal damage equal to 166 of attack. Enemy times 3. Inflict blind on enemy times 3 for 20 seconds. 30% success rate. Pretty good, pretty good. 75-second cooldown. Execution. 56-second cooldown. Damage 252, one enemy. Additional damage of 140.8 to enemies are affected by blind. So that adds up to about 393% damage on one enemy. 56-second cooldown. Not terrible. Once you get her built up, PvE, she's awesome. And there's not much holy stuff that we're fighting right now, but that blind she puts out is actually more useful than it looks, although she's not technically a PvP hero, but I kind of use Vlad or Vidir or whatever, the vampire guy for that. Suppression Transference. This will make will make her really good. Decrease defense of hit targets by 17.7%. Really high for that. When active skills triggered. And remember, she has one ability that hits 3 people, so... yeah, she could be pretty strong with some dark teams there. Like mad. Like mad. Let's see here. I gotta eat after this. Crit rate of allies by 10%. Maybe 20 or 15% when she's maxed. Deal damage equal to 134. Enemy times 4. Decrease crit rate of enemy times 4 by 18.6. Okay. 60-second duration. 60-second cooldown, Gate of the Underworld. 245.9 enemy times 1. And we got a unique debuff here. Has blood sucking on self that heals 33.6% of damage. Heal up to 50% of attack. Oh, they nerfed it so that she couldn't just like go crazy. I could see her with this because it's a fairly short cooldown. You get a cooldown reduction and then get her hitting hard. She could self-sustain herself with this on most things. Not everything, but most things. Okay. Blessing of Madness. Heal ally times 1, H times 1 for 32.3% of attack. That would be another thing that would help. When active skills triggered, apply effect on ally 1 with the lowest health. I wonder if that could be on herself too. Or if it's just strictly allies. If that can be on herself, that would be ridiculous. That would make her like, you'd run her with like a buff unit. A buffing unit rather. And just make her a little bit tanky, but a lot damagey. I'm gonna have to test that. I don't think I have one though. Alright, then we'll get into Proxy here. Proxy's one of the best SRs in the game, I could say that right now. His leadership's actually not bad. At max, it's 25%. Ally times 3 dark. Tessay has a better one, but not bad if you don't have a Tessay. His one, basically it deals a bunch of damage, 143% to enemy times 4, and also heals, or excuse me, decreases the heal of those enemies by 34.4%. Pretty much always successful. Duration 60 seconds. Really strong in PvP or any healing mechanic that you encounter. And regular damage, this is an attack, 146, hits 3 people, but it also heals 2 allies for 122% of his attack. This makes him like super useful pretty much everywhere. Especially PvP. And another photo. Barely see that. Alright, so... 10%. He has a chance to put a blind when he gets his grimoire. But hey, that wouldn't be too bad though. Saku Kori, thanks for that follow. But yeah, Proxy's one of the best SRs in the game, guys. So definitely, if you got one, you haven't built them up, build them up. I guess that's it for SRs for here. Alright, we only got 3 more tabs left. Amati. Now, when I was on the Canadian server, a bunch of people had her built up. I'm curious to see why. Increase attack of wood allies by 20. Inflict poison on enemy times 3. 80-second cooldown. Seal of death. 12.9% of attack, 6 seconds for 30 seconds. 50% success rate, okay. Decreased defense. Oh, she decreases defense. Ew. Enemy times 3, 25.7. Okay, success rate 100. Okay, well I can see why everyone was running her now. Because that not only decreases defense, but if she inflicts poison, that gives Ashe and a lot of other heroes in the game that chain off poison an instant crit. Deal damage. Grand Reboot, 60 seconds. Deal damage equal to 250% of attack to one enemy. Oh, and she deals damage to poison. She chains too. Holy no. Damn, she's high tier then. Okay. So about 500% damage. And also decreases the damage of the enemy by 32%. Wow. Damn, I don't actually have any of her, I don't think. She's pretty good. Both her skills are on... Oh no, this one's 80, but that's still pretty low for all that does. Considering it's a 60-second debuff duration. And 30-second for the poison part. Serpent Dance. Remove one buff from hit target when regular attack is triggered. 10% success rate. Okay. Doesn't make her break her, but not bad. Damn, Amonte's good. Only thing that would make her better, besides giving out like AoE buffs, is if she had like a heal component, but... Yeah, I would put her, yeah. Probably on most things. AoE-wise, like... Depends if you can get a good PvP team around her, but, you know, like 8. In the PvE, I'd put her at 9 or 10.
Now then,
Gotta get her hitting hard.
Very special punishment.
Random monsoon.
Give it everything we've got. It's punishment.
Ooh, Turgan. Okay, someone told me that this hero was actually really good. Let's see here. Attack and max HP of wood allies by 15%. Big Mandan, thanks for the follow. Overpower, damage equal to 161 of attack to enemy times 4. Okay. 64 seconds, fairly short cooldown. Forward charge. 80-second cooldown, 137% of attack to enemy times 4. Decrease pierce rate of enemy times 4 by 22.3%. Whoa! Huh. That's the first time I've seen decreased pierce rate. Because I'm always thinking that, because we can't look at the stats necessarily of raid bosses, but... if they have pierce rate, this guy would be amazing. Pretty much anything that has pierce rate, because he's hitting multiple enemies. Wow, that's pretty good, actually. Okay. I could actually see him going crazy on PvP, but... someone told me earlier that they had a minute farm team on Colette, you know, Extreme, the last level, down to a minute, and Turgan was one of the heroes on his team. Passive effect, increased defense of wood ally by 9.2. Okay. Okay, he's interesting. Has a unique debuff I've never seen before. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. I actually have them too. Conclave Corporation. Brutild. That's the girl with the big gun, right? Yeah. Yeah, decent leadership. Cold Wind Blows. 50-second cooldown. 245% to one enemy. Fixed damage of 354. Okay. Yeah. It's hard though. Short cooldown. Alright, 80-second cooldown. Fog Blast. Damage 139.8. Enemy times 4. Inflict bleed. Enemy times 4. Success rate 20%. Well, if you have a bleed synergy, that'd be pretty good, but otherwise, Passive effect. When HP is 50% or lower, increase crit damage of ally times 1 by 13.4%. 100% chance to apply on ally with highest attack. Duration 40 seconds. Okay, that throws her into like a weird... There's a lot of if with her, but I could see her being good. It'd have to be like a certain synergy with her, though. So... Victoria la Victoria, mia. Let's see here. Decent leadership. Damage equal to 139.2, 100-second cooldown. Attack times 4, acid rain. Poison, so good to link with Ash early, because I know most people get a Victoria early. 11.5, 30 seconds every 6 seconds, 30% success rate on the poison. Decent. What else you got? Wide shot. 171% attack enemy times 3. Decrease attack of enemy times 3. 22.3. Okay, so an attack debuffer. Which Ash already kind of covers that role. Increase self-block rate by 6.3% when active skills triggered. Yeah, I mean, she's alright. I could see her being good with certain team synergies, but... not for what I got currently. Alright, last tab, guys. We've almost made it. City robots. 4 SRs. Giga Machine, let's do it. Stick my leg out here. Okay. The latest model. Oh, they're being dumb here. Water attacker. Crit rate, crit damage. Damage, you go to 167, enemy times 4. 170, enemy times 3. Increase pierce damage of self by 196. When HP is 50% or lower, increase defense of allies by 11.5%. I wonder if defense buffs stack. But even so, nothing to write home about here. Red Machina, what you got for me? Yeah, 124 to enemy times 5. Are these like extreme short cooldowns or something? No. Kill damage equal to 19.3% of attack. Yeah, that's not that good. %10 chance to inflict burn. Yeah. Red Machina. Yeah. Terra Machina. So is this like the same concept, basically? Looks like it. 3.3% of enemy HP. Attack by... Yeah, man. Guess the Machinas aren't that great. Necroroid, I like Necroroid. It's actually a pretty OP hero most people skip. Status effect leadership. The cool thing about Neko, Helping Paw, 60-second cooldown. Pretty fat heal, but also puts up a barrier. Pretty good stuff. And then his too, yes it is a he, because he pops up on the male-only Trex, which is funny. Deal damage equal to 208 attack, enemy times 2, remove 1 buff from enemy times 2, so that could be pretty good depending on what you're dealing with, buff-wise. Leadership, when hit, cast barrier on ally times 3 that blocks up to 260 something plus 5.6% of attack worth of damage. 30% chance to apply an ally times 3 with highest attack. I wonder why they made that a 30% chance. That's funny. Oh, never mind. Okay, so it's 30% chance to go off, not to apply on. Okay, I get it. Yeah, so this hero's actually pretty good. If you can get her pretty fat attack, or him, pretty fat attack, actually turns into a pretty OP early game carry hero, and can contribute to your late game endeavors depending on what's going on, like water boss. And I think that is it for the SRs, guys, so we made it. So that is my opinion on SRs in this game. Found a couple new ones I didn't know about previous, so that's pretty cool to know. I am starving, and I want to do an SSR video, but it would take too long because I'm about to do the E3 coverage in an hour, so I need to eat. And I guess this will be it for Overhit videos for now. I'm going to try to get some Epic 7 videos out later because I owe that community. I'll give my thoughts on the dev note and some other stuff. But anyways, guys, so this was my long form video. I know it's long, but that's the way it goes on these. So, yo, I'm Showtime Doctor, Showtime DR. You found my YouTube. You can hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Also, click show more below the video. Link to my Discord, link to my Twitch. You should know what both of those are about by now. And I will catch you guys later on. I'm about to eat the biggest thing of chicken I've ever seen in my life. So I'll see you guys later on. Have a great day.